Hey guys, it's Aretha here with Aretha's Gentle Horsemanship, and I just wanted to bring you another quick note from the barn. Today I want to talk to you about catching your horse. Sounds really simple, but the way that I was taught kind of makes it even more simple. It makes it a smoother and safer process. So I'm just going to go through a couple of steps that if you just get in the habit and you have the muscle memory of doing this, it's going to make catching your horse a lot easier. Okay, first thing I want to do is I want to set myself up so that I'm prepared before I enter my horse's stall. So I've got my halter and my lead rope here, and what I like to do is I'm going to double my lead rope over, and then I'm going to lay it in the crook of my left arm. It's going to go in my left arm because I'm going to go in and stand on my horse's left side. That way, once he's caught, I've got horse, person, lead rope. The next thing that I'm going to do is get my halter ready. What I'd like to do with my halter, and by the way, if you use a rope halter, that's perfectly fine. It's the exact same process, short end, long end. I'm going to take the short end of the halter in my left hand, and then the long end of my halter, I'm also going to place in my left hand. Now, everything is set up nice and organized so that when I go in to get Casey, you'll see what I'm going to do, but I have it ready to catch him. I'm going to leave this door open. You would not do this, obviously, when you're going in to get your own horse, but I'm going to leave the door open so that you can see me without the gate in the way. All right, here we go. All right, so you're going to approach the left side of your horse. Whoa. And with your right hand, you're going to put your right hand over your horse's neck as though you were hugging him. Now, Casey, again, is a tall boy. If you're a tiny person with a big horse, there's no problem. You can come over their withers. The point is that you put your arms around your horse like a big barrel hug, and you're going to hand yourself the long part of the lead rope. Once I've handed myself that, essentially, I have caught my horse. Okay, if he decided to walk away to the right, obviously there's no room here, but if he were to walk away from the right, I could just gently guide his head back toward me. Okay, once I've got the long part of the rope, I'm going to go ahead and wiggle his nose after he's done chewing on it. I'm going to wiggle this up his nose, and I can go ahead and buckle him here. And he's caught, and I want to make sure that it's the right length. You'll know that your halter is sitting where it should be on your horse's nose, because it should come 1 or 2 finger widths below where the cheekbone ends. Okay, so that's about right for Casey right there. Very, very often I will see halters way down here. Well, your horse has a nasal bone that ends in cartilage that low, and you don't really want to leave them around that low, okay? So I would go ahead and lift this 1, maybe 2 holes. Okay, so essentially my horse is caught. I've got my extra rope over here. Now, remember that we folded it in half and put it over the crook of our arm? You want to do that for safety. I would never make a loop and put my arm through the loop, because if my horse took off, he's going to drag me with him, and I'll injure my shoulder or worse. A couple of common, I don't want to call them mistakes, but just a less efficient way of catching your horse I will frequently see at the barn is this. One is that the person will approach their horse, Casey, face on, and they will have the halter open like this, and they will push it up their horse's nose. I'm not a huge fan of that because 2 reasons. 1, he's not really caught, because if he backs up, I have no recourse. 2 is that as I face my horse head on, I am having a blocking or a pushing motion. And so it's going to encourage him to step back out of my personal space anyway. So I definitely don't like doing it like this. Another more common thing that you'll see is you'll see the person, especially tinier people, come to their horse and they're holding their halter and lead rope correctly. But instead of going right arm over, they come right arm under. And then they have no choice but to flick the long part of the halter up and over their horse's ear. 1, I don't want to flick my horse with anything. I think that would be a little irritating, and maybe the horse would, be less likely to want to be caught the next time. And 2, I again don't have him caught. If he wants to back up, he's gone. Okay? I hope that helps. All right, guys, so we've haltered our horse, we've got them out of the paddock or the stall, and we've done whatever we're going to do for the day. By the way, please excuse my muddy horse. It's been a very, very rainy week. Okay, I'd like to talk about how to release your horse, because this is probably more important than how to safely go in and halter them. Okay, so I'm getting ready to take my horse back into the barn. We're going to walk forward. And what I'm going to do is get my horse all the way in and turn him around so that he is facing forward again. Now, as we discussed as we discussed when we were haltering our horse, we want to be facing the same direction as them so as not to push them back. When we're releasing them, it's the opposite. Now I do want to stand in front of my horse and facing them. I want the dangerous end of my horse to be as far away from me as possible, and I also want to block him from leaving his stall before I have closed the door. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and unbuckle him. I'm going to take a step backward or two while I look at my horse. Do not let your horse go and turn around and walk away from them, no matter how well you know them, how long you've owned them. I personally know somebody who did that, and her horse was so happy to be let free that he kicked out for joy, and she raised her arm up, thank God, and he broke her forearm in half. Didn't mean to hurt her, but because she didn't pay attention and make sure that the dangerous end of her horse was facing away and that she backed away eye to eye, she ended up getting injured. So anyway, I'm really, really big on that. Safety is always first. I hope you guys have found this helpful. Enjoy your weekend and happy trails.